back. Bus to Gobekli Tepe. This way? Okay. Thank you. It's fast.
37 degrees already at 9:36, and it says, what was that, Lee? It said Havas?
Yeah, and the distance, the Havas bus go to Gobekli Tepe, so try that one. By the Turkey flag.
Okay, look for the big Turkey flag. This is where the Havas buses stop. And the bus stop for Gobekli Tepe. The times. I think we're at the T4. So it's going to go 10.
10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Apparently it returns 12, 3, and I'm assuming then 8. Or 6, sorry. 6.
Yeah.
So excited. And we're visiting the oldest place of worship, or in the world, more than that. It's where they think human...
Yeah, I mean it's the oldest temple in the world, they say. Basically, Stonehenge was 2,500 BC. The pyramids, that pyramid was 2,600. They date over the period.
And then we
going through the different ones throughout the years, going back to 4,000 years old. Some of these, Mazir, I think some are in Malta, aren't they? 7,000 years old. Gobekli Tepe, 10,000 years old. So 10,000 BC, sorry, so that's 12,000 years old. Gobekli Tepe it is, and it was built, they say, it represents the end of the hunter-gatherer era, and when people took up domestic farming, domesticated animals, settled down into villages. So it was a transition of mankind into that style of living. So there was enough people in the community to be able to build this structure. It sounds incredible, and it's a real privilege to be here. We're really excited about it.
So it's 5 minutes to 10, we're at the bus stop, there's a few more people now. We checked at the ticket window to see if we were supposed to get tickets in advance, because that's what we'd read on a couple of blogs, but the guy said no, just get the tickets from the driver. So we'll see what happens when he hopefully turns up in 5 minutes.
It's 10:30, we just arrived, and took half an hour on the bus. That was a nice easy journey, and we had it marked on the wrong place on Maps.me, so double check. It's the place that's a little bit further out than there's 2 marked there, but yeah, we would have been going the wrong way if we'd have been walking it. Glad we didn't, because it's 15k, it's a long way, but it's brilliant that they do public transport out here, because it's only 5 lira each way, which is fantastic, and if you were to get a taxi it costs a lot more, so well done, certainly for City Council for putting that on. 2 people, please. Yeah, 2 kids. Okay. The animation also?
Okay. Sorry, Gobekli Tepe music. Gobekli Tepe animation music.
Yes, this one too.
Okay.
It's 42.
Oh.
So 84 for 2 tickets.
job. Definitely recommend paying a bit extra and getting the animation included, the ticket for Gobekli Tepe. You've got the amazing light and sound show inside, and then you can watch the animation, which gives you like an overview of the temple. It tells you about the site and the discovery and the importance, and then you can come out and see this really well presented information area. It's got the birth of the temple, you've got the Ice Age, early exploitation of wild cereals, 19,000 BC. And then we come around. Lots of really good information just to get your mind ready for what you're about to see 1 kilometre up the road when we go and see the world's oldest megalithic temple. This is the amphitheatre, and we're heading now to the shuttle bus, and oh my word, the difference in temperature is amazing. They do keep the animation centre nice and cool. This is the ticket office, but we've already got our ticket, and the shuttle bus is just loading. As always, remember to bring snacks. We've got some fruit and nut mix, a couple of apples, and a couple of chocolate biscuits each. So we're not going to be starving, hopefully.
Right, let's feast. The feasting commence. It'd just be amazing to think how many artefacts there are buried underneath all of this ground. It'd just be littered with treasure. I was going to say I'd love to go and have a swing around with my metal detector, but I realised that all this stuff was buried thousands of years before the Bronze Age, so I'd be completely wasting my time.
So we're here at Site C, looking at the amazing carvings on the rock, the pillars, the large pillars in the middle, and oh my word, it's just incredible to think that this was the first temple complex, cult site, place of religious worship, whatever you want to call it, of mankind that has yet been discovered, and that it's 12,000 years old. It predates
Everything. Writing, the wheel, you name it. And the amazing thing is that 10,000 years ago, at the end of their civilization, for some reason they decided to bury it. So they just built up this huge mound over the monuments, and it was hidden away. So it was like kept a secret, and it was rediscovered recently.
1994.
Yeah, 10,000 years later, just this incredible site lying underneath the ground, and there's only 5% of it has been uncovered. What we see here, there's so much more of it all around these hillsides. 20 different concentric stone circles, they think. So just imagine it's going to go on for hundreds of years, the rediscovery. Incredible.
One of the many snake images of the site. Side we say it's maybe an auroch, predator, maybe a jackal, a tiger. This is incredible. That was carved 12,000 years ago. Sorry, it's blown my mind. You may think I'm a bit of a crackpot, but my theory is aliens, well and truly. And I think that's why the two central figures in the middle, the two largest stones, they're massive, but they're faceless, and they don't have any organs, but they've got hands and potentially clothing, lines at the front to represent clothing. They were the spacemen, the aliens coming down to talk to them.
So the aliens came and they built this.
Or they either inspired them to build it, or they made them build it.
Okay. There are many, many theories. None of them have really been proved, so
that's mine.
So let's see.
This does remind me of visiting the terracotta warriors in Xi'an, I think simply because of the roof. The difference being, you visit the terracotta warriors and you're one of maybe, I don't know,
half a million people.
And you come here, like one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of our age, and oh yep, there's some people over there, and there's a person there walking down.
But to put it into perspective, we're in quite a remote and difficult spot to get to. We haven't really described it. We're in southeastern Turkey. It's Sanliurfa. We're 50 kilometres from the Syrian border, just down the way, which is, you know, quite a troubled area, really. There's a conflict going on across there, and it's got a reputation of being a bit unstable, so a lot of people don't come here for that reason. We haven't had any problems and we feel like it's really safe, and that's why this place is a little bit sort of off the beaten track and not many people come here, but there's going to be a lot of people coming here because it's an incredible site and eventually tourism will grow and grow.
One of the many excellent videos I watched before we came here today spoke about this pillar and the two different styles of carving. The boar is like two-dimensional on the surface, and the predator is crouched above, like three-dimensional. Just amazing. Considering this is Neolithic mankind, this is the pre-pottery age. Again, I'll say it, 12,000 years ago. Mind-blowing.
Just looking at the site and comparing it to Stonehenge, and we're saying, like, I think sure the diameter of Stonehenge is probably all of these put together. It's quite wide and they're big stones, but you know, they're not carved or anything like that. They're just stones that are there. There's no images or anything on them like these. There's intricate images on here, and this was built like 6,500 years before Stonehenge, so these guys were pretty impressive what they did.
Because they're still not actually sure what this was for. I mean, there are no signs of human remains or anything like that, so it wasn't
a burial site.
No,
yeah,
and
it wasn't used for sacrifice or anything like that. They would have found it. So they say ceremonial use, which is the cop-out one, I think, because an archaeologist once told us in Orkney Islands that if they don't know what it is, they say it's ceremonial. Some have said also astrological star charts. They thought they were astronomers who had incredible knowledge of the skies, so that wouldn't surprise me either.
As you can see, we're at the highest point for miles. And there's a shuttle bus heading back down the 1 kilometre stretch of road to go back to the visitor centre and animation centre. So there's a visitor centre with souvenirs, there's a cafe as well. Unfortunately, we haven't left ourselves with enough time. A bus is going to be going at 3 o'clock and it's now 10 to 3. So I've just nipped in to have a look. So if you want something to eat, there's food.
Welcome.
Thank you, there's food and drinks. That'll be a lovely way to end your trip as well because it's got wonderful aircon. But now I've got to hightail it to the bus. So, made it onto the bus, 5 to 3. 2 minutes passed and we're just leaving.
Yep. Second day out, a little bit warm now. Glad to get home, get a cold drink.